today's world, being busy is the new norm. We have a ton of projects we would like to do, and whenever something new comes up, we try to fit it in our already overflowing schedules. We believe that if we just work more and work harder, we can do it all. However, being busy doesn't mean we're actually doing things that are important. The truth is that most things that we do aren't important at all, but instead are completely trivial. The antidote to this overwhelming busyness is essentialism. Essentialism is not about how to get more things done, it's about how to get the right things done. It is about making the wisest possible investment of time and energy to get your desired results. First, we need to understand that our lives are filled with trade-offs. When we say yes to any opportunity, we unknowingly say no to several others. For example, if my colleague asks me to go out with him for a few drinks and I say yes, I'm actually saying no to a dozen other things I could spend my time on, like building my own business, exercising at the gym, or reading a book. Likewise, if I say no to my friend's request, I'm saying yes to other things. The preferred answer would be yes to reading a book and yes to going out with my friend. Obviously, I would love to do both of those things, but as much as I'd like to, I can't do everything. None of us can. Instead, we have to choose what we're going to spend our time on. That's the reality of trade-offs. And when we don't deliberately choose where to focus our energy and time, our friends, bosses, or family will choose for us. This is why we need to stop saying yes to everything and everyone. Instead, we should learn to say no to the requests that we know will take away our time from the things that are actually important. Saying no to requests can be difficult. You might feel guilty, you don't want to let someone down, and you're worried about damaging the relationship with that person. However, how many times did you regret saying yes to a request when you really wanted to say no? Saying no might sting in the moment, but it's better than saying yes and regretting it afterwards. There are so many times I wish I would have denied certain requests. The only reason I didn't is because I wanted to please the other person. But what happened is I ended up despising them because I felt like they were wasting my time and energy. However, the fault is mine for saying yes in the first place when I knew the answer should have been a firm no. But at least now I realize that if I don't prioritize my own life, someone else will. Now, whenever a new opportunity comes my way, I always pause and think about all the things I would be saying no to if I accept the request. If it's not worth the trade-off, then I'll refuse it. Of course, you shouldn't deny all requests you get. The point is to say no to the things that are non-essential, so we can say yes to the things that actually matter to us. And the fact is that most things don't matter. I'm sure you heard about the Pareto's 80-20 principle before. The principle states that 80% of our results come from 20% of our efforts, and the remaining 20% of results come from 80% of our efforts. So it makes sense to identify which 20% of actions will give us the 80% of results we want. However, many capable people are kept from getting to the next level because they can't let go of this belief that everything is important. So they waste 80% of their time chasing the remaining 20% of results. Because of that, they don't even have the time to stop and identify which 20% will give them the 80%. It's almost like a loop. They don't have the time to figure out how they could stop wasting time. Don't get me wrong, working hard is important. But working hard on the wrong things is a waste of time and energy, therefore should be avoided. That's why what you don't do is just as important as what you do. More effort does not get you more results. Working on the right things does. An essentialist will allow himself to think and identify what's vital and what's trivial to his goals. He will then eliminate and avoid the trivial things so he can have more time and energy for things that are important to him. However, applying the 80-20 principle is not something you do just once, it's an ongoing process. You see, when you're making massive progress and you're getting tons of success, more and more opportunities will come your way. More people will want to partner with you, more clients will want to work with you. This might sound like a good problem to have. This is what you would want after all, right? But this newfound success can become a catalyst for failure. There's nothing wrong with pursuing new opportunities, unless of course you start taking on projects that are not important but are trivial. They start taking up more and more of your time, and the essential things, those that got you your success in the first place, fall by the side. That's the paradox of success. This is why you need to identify what's important and what's not regularly, and you need to make deliberate trade-offs. Non-essentialists might think that they don't have to make trade-offs, but they soon find out there isn't enough time in their day to pursue all of their new options. And then they try to carve out more time by cutting their most essential asset, sleep. Non-essentialists say, "Yeah, I only sleep for 5 hours every night," like it's a badge of honor. They try to convince themselves and others that they're productive and important because they only have time to sleep 5 hours a night. But this is a fool's bargain. While this might result into more time spent awake, they end up with less energy and are not as productive. Getting less than 6 hours of sleep per night results into the same mental capacity as being legally drunk. Basically, they're making the same poor decisions like a drunk person would. And I don't think anyone would idolize some drunk in their office. Yet for some reason, we idolize not sleeping enough. This attempt at trying to create more time results into cutting out the essential things, and that of course leads to failure. That's why essentialists take their time to identify over and over which opportunities are worth their time. Then they make the deliberate trade-offs and say no to the things that don't matter. And they make sure to never sacrifice what's important to them. Not adapting an essentialist mindset will keep you away from what you want out of life. The fact is, you simply don't have enough time and energy to waste it on things that are not important. And if you don't prioritize your own life, someone else will. If you want to learn more about essentialism, you can check out Greg McKeown's book. There's a link to it down below.